Hey, I'm Caleb.
I'm Joe.
I'm Joel. And if you're like us, you didn't really know a whole lot about our Southern Baptist roots before taking this class. We thought it'd be interesting to see what other people thought and what other people knew about the formation of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Yeah, so we decided to go around campus and ask some random people, whether they were students or boys or not, what they knew about the founding of the SBC.
What we found out was shocking.
Hey, I'm Joe. What's your name? Okay, nice to meet you. So, our biggest question today is, do you know how the Southern Baptist Convention was formed? Do you care to venture any guess whatsoever?
I have no idea.
That's okay. Awesome.
Yeah, a group of people got together and decided to start it.
Yeah.
Is that all I got?
That's pretty much what happened. Cool. All right. Thank you so much,
You're
Becca.
welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Chris. Hey, Chris. I'm Joe.
Hey, nice to meet you.
You too. So, do you know why the Southern Baptist Convention was formed?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
No.
Do you know then anything about a guy named James Reeves?
Never heard of him.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to know.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Ready? Hey, I'm Joel.
Hi,
What's your name?
Rachel.
Nice to meet you. We just want to ask you a couple questions. Have you ever heard of a guy named James Reeves?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you have any idea how the Southern Baptist Convention was formed, or why it was formed?
No, I actually don't.
Any guesses? No wrong answer.
You're talking about the SBC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I should know this. No, I have no idea. No.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
AT4G shuttle. Do you know why the Southern Baptist Convention was formed? Didn't think so. But what is your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Nice to meet you, Jeremy. Do you, looking back at Baptist history, have any idea or provide any sort of explanation as to why the Southern Baptist Convention was formed?
Briefly, a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to say I'm an expert.
Yeah, that's fine. Tell us what you know.
I think Southern Baptist Convention was, if I remember correctly, was formed more so with missions, international missions in mind.
Mhm.
They needed some way to pool the resources
Okay.
because there was big emphasis on trying to reach people,
Yeah.
every name, every tongue, and every tribe. And so, since Baptist churches are autonomous, it's kind of hard for them to all plan that out unless
Yeah.
they have a separate organization. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
that's what I kind of remember generally.
That's great. Yeah.
So, do you know who James Reeves is?
No.
Okay. Do you know the events that led to the founding of the Southern Baptist Convention?
I think it was that on the issue of slavery that they couldn't agree on whether it was good or bad. And the Southern Baptists were the ones that said it would be okay. But other than that, no, I don't.
Okay.
Dr. Brandt would probably want to
Sweet.
punch me right now.
Great. Well, that's all I need.
That's it.
As you can see, after we interviewed that crowd of people, not many really knew the roots of slavery in the Southern Baptist Convention. Now we kind of want to just do a quick survey of what we found and what we learned about the formation of the Southern Baptist Convention.
And so what we have learned applies to our lives today. Now that our song is done, take a look.
Just to put the situation into context, at this time there was some real pressure from the Northerners on the Southern Baptists to get rid of their slaves. There's real conflict throughout the Triennial Convention about this point. And this really came to a head in 1845 when the Georgia Baptist Convention decided to go to the American Baptist Home Mission Society, and they tried to appoint a man named James Reeves as a missionary to the Cherokee Indians. The vote ended up being 7-5 against appointing James Reeves as a missionary because he was a slave owner. This event eventually led to the formation of the Southern Baptist Convention because the southern states were not prepared for the economic fallout from freeing all the slaves.
Hello, I'm going to talk to you today about an overview of the important issues over the founding of the SBC. So basically you have two big organizations. You have the Triennial Convention and the American Baptist Home Mission Society. Both of these organizations were formed before slavery really got a lot of attention in the public eye or became a political issue, so their constitutions reflected nothing about slavery. However, as time went on, slavery became more and more of a public issue and a political issue, so you would venture to guess that at some point the Triennial Convention and the ABHMS would have to deal with slavery at some point in time. That happened in the 1840s when Georgia decided to send a guy named James Reeves as a candidate to be a missionary to the ABHMS. Doing so forced the society to deal with the issue of slavery. Essentially, you had the abolitionists on one side, and then you had those who were for slavery on the other side. Taking another quick caveat, basically, the Baptists were really struggling to provide a solid biblical reason as to why slavery was not okay. Organizations like the Quakers and the Methodists had taken a simple moral stance against slavery, but those who were for slavery demanded verse and chapter proof from the Bible as to why slavery was not okay. People who were for slavery used verses like Ephesians 6:5, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear. Ephesians 6:9, Colossians 3:22, Colossians 4:1, Titus 2:9, 1 Peter 2:18, which all basically say, slaves, submit to your masters, slaves, obey your master. And so Baptists, as you can see from this, had a hard time arguing against slavery from a biblical standpoint. However, when James Reeves' case happened, you had a divided convention. So the ABHMS split over the issue of slavery when they were forced to take a stance in the James Reeves case. Because of that split, because they voted against James Reeves being a missionary, they basically said that we are against slavery. And when that happened, the Southern Baptist Convention was formed.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a timeline between slavery, missions, and the formation of the SBC. We'll begin with slavery in the 19th century. Slavery in the 19th century became the most critical moral issue dividing Baptists in the United States. Rather than challenging the gentry on slavery and urging manumission as did the Quakers and Methodists, they began to interpret the Bible as supporting the practices of slavery and encouraged good paternalistic practices by slaveholders. We'll move on to 1821 in Guilford Baptist. Black congregations were sometimes the largest of the regions. For instance, by 1821, Guilford Baptist in Petersburg, Virginia, had the largest congregation within the Portsmouth Association, at 441 members. It was more than twice as large as the next ranking church. Before the Nat Turner Slave Rebellion in 1831. In 1833, England ends slavery. Then we go on to 1844, the Georgia Test case. The Triennial Convention and the Home Mission Society adopted a kind of neutrality concerning slavery, neither condoning nor condemning it. During the Georgia Test case of 1844, the Georgia State Convention proposed that the slaveholder, Elder James E. Reeves, be appointed as a missionary. The Foreign Mission Board refused to approve his appointment, recognizing the case as a challenge and not willing to overturn their policy of neutrality on the slavery issue. They stated that slavery should not be introduced as a factor into deliberations about missionary appointments. And then shortly after the Georgia test case, they went and had an Alabama test case, which was basically the same thing. We skipped forward 1 year in 1845, and there we have the founding of the SBC. We skip ahead 20 more years, we have the ending of the Civil War and the emancipation of slaves. And when that happened, Gilfield Baptist was finally able to actually have a black pastor on staff. Then in 1954, we have the Civil Rights Movement started by Martin Luther King Jr. And then from all this, many years down the road, in 1995, the SBC have a resolution on racial reconciliation. Many years passed, many years, probably too late to issue an apology like this, but 1995 was the year that we first made that apology. And then we skip ahead. In 2012, at the Southern Baptist Convention, elected Fred Luer Jr. as the first African American president. So as you can see, over 100 years is quite a long time to issue an apology, especially an apology of this much weight and of this much matter to us as a people and to us as a convention. And as you can see through the videos, many people don't even know why the SBC was formed. There were a couple of people who knew, but the majority doesn't even know this information that we have brought to the table. And so we have quite a ways to go to get to where we want to be as a convention and as a diverse community of believers.
Oh, which one of us? Me? Or okay.
Let's do this again.
Okay.